Thank you very much, everybody. Much appreciated. That means a lot to us. That's awesome. The whole time?
The whole time, yes. So, what is up? What is up? And
Hello!
welcome
Oh
back to
my.
another episode of Blood and Beer, the show where we talk blood sport and we drink beer. I'm your host, Matt. With me, as always, on Wednesday is my friend Cody. We're talking UFC Baku, breaking down the whole main card, talking some prelims as well, giving you our best bets, talking anything going on around the MMA space. Make sure you smash that like button if you're watching on YouTube. Hit us with a sub. Spotify, Apple, Amazon, anywhere you get your podcast. We're available everywhere. Make sure you give us 5 stars. Certainly helps us out. Growing the channel. We finally got to 200 subscribers. I think I figured something out on here. But
How's that look? Does that look good?
yeah, that looks fine. You got if you got beer, then it might fuck it up, but that's fine. You got a hoop tee?
No, I was just saying, like, does the blur look okay and everything
Oh
like
yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah. No, I was saying the beer. It'll think it's the background. Do you have a hoop tee? Is what I asked.
No, sir. I just have a Pepsi this week.
Well, I'm drinking an Italian beer because as the UFC goes on the road to Baku, Azerbaijan, I'm going on the road to Stile Italiano. I don't know where this is from, but it's from Italy. It's called Peroni, Nastro Azzurro, and they're pretty damn good. So we're going to be sipping it out of a koozie, out of the Dexperts koozie. Father-in-law's company, great decking company. They do custom decks, some of the best work you've ever seen. Anyways, not sponsored, just they do great work. All right. Well,
I love you.
Cody, yeah, we're still on the road with UFC. They're on this road trip. They're giving us good cards. While last week's card, the main event, the not the main event, the whole main card was kind of a dud. 6 decisions. Started at 10 p.m., 11 p.m. It was miserable to sit there try to watch through that. But we did get to see Kamaru Usman rise to the top. He fends off Joaquin Buckley. Rose Namajunas does the exact same thing. We didn't get our bets in last week, so we're sitting same spot we're at now. You're up about 38 units. I'm up about 17. Noah, wherever he's at these days, he's currently down 13.37 units. He's not had a winning week yet, but he will when he comes back for UFC 317 if we can get him back. He says he's coming back.
Love to have you
Anyways,
back. You have an SOS out for you the last few weeks, brother.
this card, I'm pumped for this card.
Pretty solid card.
It's got a lot of hard names to pronounce. I'm excited to see how you do. I should have said an over-under line since we didn't get to talk about the pronunciations before this show. Over-under on how many of these names you could have gotten correct just off first pronunciation. They're tough names, but this card is stacked. These fighters, they're fun fighters. Got 3 people from Azerbaijan on it. 12 fights. Starts at noon for the prelims. Main events or main cards on ABC. Their third ABC card. I'm pumped for it. I love a day card. Nothing better than a day card. I mean, it's perfect. Fight nights deserve to be just middle of the day. At least give us one a month that's middle of the day, right?
Yeah, that's pretty solid. I like it.
Yeah.
Especially when it's kind of in a dead zone of sports right now.
Yeah, exactly. Like we don't have NFL going on. UFL's doing a lot better than I think anybody expected with the viewers. They're almost at 1 million per game, which is pretty impressive when you look at the XFL's numbers. After 4 weeks, they were rocking around 350,000 a game, and cable was a lot bigger then. This is off the cable numbers, not even the streaming numbers. But still, UFC's king right now. This is the UFC's time. NBA's only at night. MLB, I mean, that's people are only watching the night games right now. You're gonna get some people watching the Saturday games, but it's regional, and this is a
Hmm.
worldwide sport. You know, hockey same way, night games right now. So perfect.
Nope. Hockey just ended last night.
Did it?
Yep. Florida Panthers won the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, Canada's never gonna win a Stanley Cup, are they?
No, Edmonton only won one game, 4-1.
I know. I kept hearing people say they were coming back, and I was like, no, Canada's cursed in the Stanley Cup. The Stanley Cup originates in Canada, and it hasn't been back there since '91. We're
Something
not.
like that. It's been a long time.
We're not talking about hockey though. We're not talking
We're not
about
blood
the
and
NBA.
pucks. We're blood and beer.
We're not
We're
pucks
not
and beer.
we're not puck and beer. Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking UFC Baku. Like I said, 12 fights on the card, perfect size card, fun fights sprinkled throughout. The prelims have a lot of entertaining fighters that are on the up and coming they got fighters coming up that are actually
They're exciting.
they're
They're
exciting.
skillable.
They
And they actually have a high ceiling compared to most fighters we've seen on these other fights on fight nights. Sorry to interrupt you, but I kind of felt like I just knew where you're going.
Yes, thank
I just
you.
wanted to follow up because the last few fight nights we were talking like shoot back in April, they were duds. They were slow. Fighters we were getting were just they were they were contender series fighters, or they were coming from Ryzen, or they were coming from Bellator, or they were coming from One, and now we're getting two former champions now, or one former champion, one former contender. I don't remember if Roundtree was a title holder or not, but
No, he's not a title
um,
holder, but he's coming off that fight against Pereira where he took him
Ferrari
4 rounds. Yeah.
exactly. And then we have so many up and comers in this card. We have Bahamondes. Not even that. We have Curtis Blades, who's not an up and comer, but he's still an elite talent. That's just
Perennial
there. You know
top five, yeah. Perennial
exactly.
top five.
Fiziev is no joke. I mean, there's a lot of good talent in this card. I think what Dana White's been doing these last few weeks with these fight nights has been just up in the cards and up in the stakes that are in the cards, and it's just been impressive to watch, man. It's just he's been
Yeah.
doing very, very well, especially with what we got coming next week as well.
Next week's International Fight Week, absolutely. Now, let's not give the credit to Dana White. He said he's been pretty much out of the loop. He's currently promoting UFC BJJ. He's got his, I think it's an energy drink that he just came out with or something like that. He's doing all these other ventures. He's also really focused on promoting the Crawford Canelo fight. I think this is all Hunter Campbell. You know, Hunter Campbell's throwing together some just absolute bangers. I think Dana White is taking care of a lot of big picture stuff, but when it comes to the matchmaking and putting these fights, these great matchups that we're seeing on cards like this together, you got to give the credit to Mick Maynard, Sean Shelby, Hunter Campbell, because Dana White's just been kind of out of the loop lately. He seems super uninterested in anything going on. So yeah, but this card, it's fun as hell. And you took the words right out of my mouth. That was exactly where I was going with this. It's not littered with contender series guys who are making their debut or their second fight. It's filled with guys that are just waiting to get in the top 15 of whatever division they are in, or they're just a year or two out from it. So, with all that being said, I think this card's great. It's a fight night, middle of the day. How do you grade this card? Give me a letter grade scale for this card.
For this one, I would have to say for a fight night, I got to give it a B plus A minus. Honestly, just for the skill of fighters we got, and then the up and comers. And then we're gonna have some pretty exciting prelims as well. So it's gonna be a fun card, you know, especially for a daytime card where people can be out at the bar if you're at like B Dubs, or say you're just in the backyard on the patio, or you know you're at the gym and they got it on. It's a perfect day to have it on. It's gonna be a nice day. Um, I think it's you know, like I was just getting ready to say, just high caliber fighters, high up and comers. I got to give it a B plus A minus.
Yeah, I mean, you look at guys like Ismail Nardiev, you got the Iron Turtle. They're fighting on this card. Muhammad Usman versus Hamdi Abdel That's going to be a sloppy mess, but they might be entertaining. They might be kind of fun to watch. Now, I'm on the same page with you there. B plus, A minus. I'm right there with you. It's a great fight, great main event. The main event doesn't necessarily have title implications because both the guys, they've been knocked out by Pereira in their last fight, who just lost the belt, or Jamaal Hill got knocked out by Pereira and then Yuri. So not title implications, but it's just a fun fight, a banger. These dudes are gonna sling leather. So you give me a B minus, A plus, or A minus, B plus. I'm right there with you. Now we always do this. 5.5 is the number for this 12 fight card. A lot of high level talent here. A lot of wide odds too. A lot of close odds. How do you see this card going down? Is it going to be over or under 5.5 finishes?
It's easily going to be under 5.5 finishes for me.
You think it's going to be easy?
Oh, absolutely. The finishes are going to come in the prelims. We're gonna. I don't understand why it was last week where we just seen booze through almost every fight. It was kind of annoying, but I think they're going to do the same thing because they're going to be going the distances. You're not seeing quick highlighting finishes to get the crowd excited and whatnot. But
Well, before we go further, I don't think there's going to be any boos. This is the first time they've ever been to Azerbaijan. You've
oh,
got
really?
you got three fighters from Azerbaijan on the card. Um, I think this is going to be just electric, and the location of Azerbaijan, it's touching the Georgia
We'll
border.
see. We'll see. Because
It's
I've never
touching
seen the environment of Azerbaijan. So
it touches like Iran, it touches Russia, I think Georgia. It's just right in that region where
okay.
it's a huge cultural diversity there. So, but sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to let you know.
Watch my
International
TV.
fight cards hit a lot different. The international fans are a lot more forgiving and a lot more grateful than the U.S. fans. The U.S. fans are. It's almost like they want to boo. They're waiting for something to boo.
Right. I've noticed that now too. I see what you're saying now. The international fans are a lot more passionate and different. That was a kind of a stale take by me there. I completely understand that one.
No, no, you're good because I'm sure you weren't thinking about that. You were just thinking like there's going to be a
Because
lot of
that's how
just.
it's been like the last like 4 weeks of fights, and it's just been other than at the apex where there's barely anybody there, it's just been boo central, and I just genuinely don't understand because you're still seeing good technical fighting and good spacing and good striking at the same time. So I guess it's just how you view fighting, and we view it differently than I guess the common fan that's going up there paying for the tickets. But
Well, and I don't think it's the common fan paying for the tickets anymore though. With ticket prices, it's people that are going to make it an event. They're like, I went to a UFC fight. It's not people like you and me who we would opt to go to a card now and then, but we would probably also be more inclined to watch it at home because you get a better viewing that way. Like the experience is great, but with the ticket prices to get nosebleeds for $500, I mean, that's ridiculous.
exactly,
So, I mean, you don't have the common fan there, and that's why you have people booing because they don't understand what's going on. And sometimes it is boring. Sometimes they do just give us kind of some blah. But, you know, it's I think it's going over because we've been under pretty often lately. I'll just say I won't say who's gonna finish who, but I'll say I think Roundtree Hill's gonna end in a finish. I could see Bahamondes Fiziev ending in a finish, so we'll give that one a half. Curtis Blades versus Kunyev, I could see that finishing.
I don't see that. I don't see
Blades
that
has
going to go. I see
nasty ground and pound.
they both have good chins, man.
Yeah, but Kunyev, he got beat by Henan Ferreira. Ferreira's not that great, and that was his best competition that he's fought. So, Kunyev, sorry, not Kunyev. And then, Miktabek Orobai, he's durable as hell taking on Tofiq Musaev. I'll say that's going decision. I'll say that's going to be a fun fight. Nazim Sadykov versus Nicholas Mota. Nicholas Mota's 5 losses, 4 of them are TKO knockouts. Nazim Sadykov 10-1. He's got a ton of knockouts to his name. He's got nasty kicks. I just see that one going to a finish. Bogdan Grad versus Muhammad Naimov. That could go either way. I'll give that one a half. And that's just on the main card. So we get down to the prelims. Tagir Ulanbekov could get a finish over Azat Maxim easy. Not easy, but he could definitely do it. In the women's fights that could happen, Ismail Nardiev versus Junyoung Park. Junyoung Park's either going to death gas you or you're going to get him out of there. And then Oban Elliott's a minus 600 favorite over Seo Kyun Ko. However, it may be pronounced. But minus 600 favorite on here. And Oban Elliott is kind of mastered marketing. He knows he doesn't have the most entertaining fight style, so he's just like out there trying to do the Chael Sonnen thing, but not so offensively. I respect it. Also, he's going for finishes, even though he's got this kind of wrestle heavy style. He wants to get a finish just so you can't deny him. He's going for gold. Oban is just this young dude that he's 27. He's coming up in this 170-pound division. Perfect size for it, 6 foot. I think he's going to be here for a long time, and I just think that's going to be a finish as well. So I think that we're going to be going over 5.5 finishes here, and I think we might see like 9 finishes.
Okay.
I
You
think
want to
we
put a
could.
dollar on it?
Oh yeah, we could put a dollar on the over under 5.5.
I like that. I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, absolutely.
I think you're definitely at most. 5, but I think realistically it's going to be 3 or 4.
Oh, that would suck. There's a lot of good fighters, a lot of good chins, so you never know. It could be. But, so we got through that. I want to know what your sleeper fight of the prelims are.
My sleeper fight of the prelim is Ismail versus Young Dong. Uh,
The
Young
Iron
Yong.
Turtle.
Yeah, Young Young.
Just call him the
Ismail,
Iron Turtle. Not
the
Ishmael.
Iron Turtle.
Yeah, Jin Young Park.
I think this one could be a nasty submission finish. Both of these guys are electric, have great pace, very fun fighters, very fast fighters. But they are both excellent at the submission game and both love going to the ground. I definitely think this one could be a nasty guillotine finish, maybe, or maybe an armbar. For the prelims, I think I'm changing up my ways a little bit now, Matt. I still love the striking, but I'm starting to appreciate the ground game a lot more now, man. And it's a lot of fun to watch people just give up and just want to just quit when they see that bone about to snap or something like that. And for me, dude, I think that one's gonna be a fun little sub finish. Honestly, I think personally, I think John Young is gonna walk away with it. For me personally, just the way his track record's been coming up, I think he's just got. I think he's coming off a loss, but for
No,
just off a rebound though.
2 fights ago he lost. Split decision
Mm,
to Andre Muniz, and he should have won that fight. Before that, you're right, 3 submissions in a row. And what's crazy about that is Jin Young Park is a boxer. Like, the guy goes out there and primarily boxes, but he knocks your head off, boxes your head off, and then he ends up getting you to the ground. And he's always on top with a rear naked choke, just that he gets in with no hooks almost, and people tap out. So I could definitely see the submission there. I think that's a great call. And John Dong in the chat, what is up, my friend? How the hell are you? Welcome back. But yeah, that was my initial pick. And if you had picked that one, which you had, I picked Muhammad Usman versus Hamdi Abdelwahab, and not because it's going to be a great fight, but because it's going to be an absolutely untechnical, sloppy affair where these guys are just like doing some crazy shit. And John said, "I'm good. How about you guys?" I'm doing great. How the hell are you doing, Cody?
doing fantastic, man. Amazing.
And yeah, so, but the Ismail Nardiev versus Iron Turtle fight, I love it. I love that fight. Iron Turtle, like I said, he goes out there, boxes your head off. He's got a pace. He's just throwing strikes nonstop, kind of a Nick Diaz, Nate Diaz style. And then he doesn't have this crazy game off his back where he's going to be throwing stuff up, but he's just going to fall on top of you. And he's got such good top pressure that he can find these submissions. As soon as you give up your back, he finds that rear naked choke. On the other hand, Ismail Nardiev, he's just dynamic. The dude's good everywhere. He's super high fight IQ. He's 28 years old, coming up. He's got a 1-inch reach advantage, so nothing huge. And if you look at the stats, he's lower everywhere than Jin Young Park. Jin Young Park's been around a while. He has a different fight style, which kind of pads stats because it forces people to shoot takedowns, forces people to strike with him. You're either going to be doing one or the other. But you look at the guys he's beat. Bruno Silva, unanimous decision. Bruno Silva's a killer. He's got nasty power.
Mm-hmm.
Nardiev survived it, went to decision. Gets a submission by guillotine over Hadbi. Lost by TKO in the first round. And then before that, he and the all but one are in Brave, but he lost by submission armbar. But the guy's a killer. And I just think he's live here. And after watching Jin Young Park's interview on the Ariel Helwani show, he was talking about drinking with Ariel. I love drinking. He seemed way too into drinking. And what's up, DJ Serenity now? How the hell are you doing, my friend? You can back me up on this. Iron Turtle talking about drinking. Did he like it too much? I mean, he should be an honorary member of the Blood and Beer channel. He should be taking a video camera with him to every fight and vlogging for us or something, right? Because this dude loved his drinking.
I love that. Absolutely, man. We love beers and we love drinking.
But yeah, so I think Nardiev's absolutely a live dog there. Now, Mo Usman versus Hamdi Abdelwahab. It's not going to be a great fight. Iron Turtle probably is watching right now, DJ. But it's not going to be a great fight. It's going to be a super sloppy fight where someone might get death gas, somebody's gonna lay on the other one. It's gonna be messy, sloppy. I'm gonna enjoy it. Most people won't, especially hardcore fans, and I'm a hardcore. But yeah, I don't see that fight being fun. Blood, beer, and sake. And yeah, so where are we at now? Oh, the Azerbaijan question. Sorry, 1 second. You're good. You can just ask for it. My wife needed me to hand her something. Blood, beer, and sake. Absolutely right. Yeah, we bet on fights. We give our bets at the end of the fights, and then Cody does a lot of extra betting as well. Night of the fights. We should start a Discord so that way we can post our other bets. But yeah, we give our bets at the end of each card, and we got our numbers up top. Cody's killing it right now, coming off of a super down week. Hit a big fat goose egg, but we put 1,000 up each week. We're switching it over to units because we pulled out since then. But just to keep the numbers right, 1,000 on the show, and we'll switch it eventually. Now, the Azerbaijan question. I said we got 3 Azerbaijani fighters on the card. They're all in the main card slot. What is their record on this card when the night ends? Are they going 2-1, 3-0, 0-3? How's it going?
The only record you didn't say, 1-2.
1-2.
I'm not gonna say. I don't want to give the fight spoil the fighters because some of my picks were involved with those later when we do the main card breakdown. But for me personally, man, I see 2 fights. One being very close, the other one and 2 being just. One of the losses is going to be very close. One of the losses is just not going to be very convincing. They're going to get blown away, and then the other victory is just going to be a very convincing victory.
Yeah, I like it. And yeah, I think they're going to be 2-1, 1-2, right around there. It could be either or. But
yeah, they're not going to go completely defeated or undefeated, though.
John Dong asked in the chat, what's the biggest underdog you've bet on and won? And this is MMA, Cody, so we'll go with that. On the show last year, or 2 years ago, I picked Merab Dvalishvili over Piotr Yan by decision.
Man.
Other than that, I had a 8-leg parlay when Khalil Rountree beat Dustin Jacoby that I don't know if I put it on the show or not, but I put $2 on it. It was like it had to be plus 9,000 or plus 90,000 because I got $180 back.
Plus 9,000.
Plus 9,000, yeah. So I got $180 back off a $2 bet when Khalil Rountree robbed Dustin Jacoby in that win. So that was probably my biggest underdog bet, but plus 9,000 was huge. Cody, what's your biggest MMA dog that you've picked? Because normally you're parlaying people up to get good odds.
Biggest parlay I've won off of UFC. It's a combined night. Best night I've had is probably 1.2K. I was over at your place 2 weeks ago, 2.5, maybe 3 now. I think it was 2. I hit that 154. It was a plus 5,400.
That's
plus
right.
15.
Who was that?
Oh shit! Oh, that was
That was bad.
it was for O'Malley and Merab to go over 5.5 minutes, but
under 4.5 rounds.
Under 4.5 rounds. It was Harrison money line and a total of 110 total strikes between the 2 fighters.
That's right.
Between her and Pena.
Yeah, you were picking crazy stuff that night, but it was working out.
And there was something else too. I completely forget, but $10 won me 154. That was my most recent one. I kind of had a dud week last week.
2 weeks ago. So last week I picked like all dogs except for Joaquin Buckley, and I didn't end up putting it on the show. But all dogs I picked, I would have been up like $20.
You sent me a photo. Yeah, you were on fire.
I was feeling good early, and then it ended up sizzling out. I had the wrong end of some other deals, but that's okay. So you say 1 and 2. I'm probably right there with you at 1 and 2. And we'll get into our picks in a moment. We'll get into our breakdown, give you who's gonna win the fights, and then we'll give you our bets, the best bets for the card. But we're talking First fight of the night, we got Muhammad Naimov, not first fight of the night, first fight of the main card. Muhammad Naimov taking on Bogdan Grad. Naimov minus 275 favorite, plus 225 for Bogdan Grad. Naimov, just like Nardiev, super intelligent fighter, and he has really great striking. When he goes into the pocket, he'll blitz you and get to a body lock, just chest to chest, and trip you for a takedown, and he has nasty ground and pound while he's there. He's not the strongest fighter, but he's just very technical, very tricky. He's going to trip you up. He's going to knock you down, just end up on top. And once he's there, he's technical enough to keep you there. Now, Bogdan Grad, he's a super strong dude. He's able to hold you down. He's explosive. He's dynamic. He throws flying knees. He likes to strike. He likes to bang. He likes to swing leather and make it an ugly fight. I just think Nardiev is going to be able to hold him at bay here on this one. Or Naimov, sorry. I think he's going to hold him at bay on this one. I think he's going to stand on the outside and strike. Think he might land a high kick that puts him out, but I think the numbers right here. I could also see the Bogdan Grad making it an ugly fight, holding him up against the cage for 15 minutes, taking him down, just grinding on him, making sure he has control, gets the decision. But how do you see that fight going down, Cody?
We have Muhammad Naimov versus Bogdan Grad. For me personally, dude, when this is my first fight, it started to break down, and I looked at it. I was like, UFC's going to give us another dog week. I was like, really? I think Bogdan Grad's going to walk away with this, man. He's way more active of a fighter. Um, he's way more active on the takedowns. Naimov's takedown defense, I think, is only like a 68 or 72%, which is it's pretty good. It's average above average, for UFC. But that's Muhammad Naimov's key to victory is taking it to the ground. But Bogdan Grad's takedown defense is 100%. He's yet to be taken down to the ground in the UFC. Are you trying to use a pair of pliers, my man?
No, it's a can opener, and it has a bottle opener attached. I lost my little Army Man bottle opener, and didn't have enough time before the show to look for it. I was doing so much other stuff.
Heck yeah, dude. But back to what I was saying. That's going to be his method is going to be trying to take it to the ground. And also, there's another interesting stat about Naimov. He absorbs more punches than he returns. If you look at the stats, he gives out 2.946 per significant strikes per minute or whatever, like 49% or whatever, 51. But he absorbs like 4.13 to like 4.91 or whatever it was per minute. So his return rate per output is not a good look. When you look at Bogdan, where he basically almost doubles his striking rate at 5.83 at a little bit of a higher accuracy rate at 54%, but it doesn't really matter because he averages 3.5 takedowns every 15 minutes, which is a way higher rate than what Naimov is going for. And I think for him it's going to be keep the tempo up, and I think it's going to be keeping it on the feet with this high activity and the strength, and then eventually taking it to the ground and then getting him against the cage and just getting him in a ground and pound and getting it by a TKO finish, hopefully maybe in the third round, maybe late second. But
Yeah,
that's my big upset for the week.
I could definitely see that happening because in Muhammad Naimov's fight with Khan Ofli, he got held against the cage, and Khan Ofli is a small featherweight. He's very small for 145. Bogdan Grad's pretty big for the weight class. Not in height, but just in stature. He's a big dude. So I really think that Bogdan Grad's live here. I've been doing this thing where when I'm picking fights, I'm looking at the fight first before I look at the numbers. Make my decision then, and if the numbers look good, then I'm making the pick. And I still, when I do the film study, the eye test, Naimov passes it. Not that Bogdan Grad doesn't. It's just Bogdan Grad's strength of schedule isn't there. He has fought one guy in the UFC, got a TKO in round 2. Great job, but Lucas Alexander, is that his name? Yes, Lucas Alexander, not the best UFC fighter. He's 0-2 or he's 1-3 in the UFC with 3 finished losses and a unanimous decision win over Sam Peterson. So he's not really. That's not great. That's not a great test to be looking at. Now, you look at Muhammad Naimov's strength of schedule. He's got Con Ofley, tough runner-up, lost against Felipe Lima. Felipe Lima's a dog. Then he knocks out Silva, decision over Nathaniel Wood, knocks out Jamie Malarkey. The guy's just a smart fighter. He's a finisher, and he just seems to have a really high fight IQ. So I like him here. I like him here. I think he's getting it done, but I do respect the Bogdangrad call. The numbers make it live. I'm going with picks. I'm going with my winners. I'm not going with how good the numbers are, because that's screwed me in the past. Now the next fight, I'll let you kick this one off. Nazim Sadykov taking on Nicholas Mota at lightweight. Fun fight here. How do you see this one going down?
It is a fun fight, and I think this is going to be the one win that the home team gets here this weekend out of their 3 fighters.
And the odds makers see it that way also.
Yep, absolutely. I hate to give a spoiler already on my next 2. Sorry about it. But this one's definitely, because if I pick the winner on this one, then it just gives it away. But at 5'10", he's a kind of 1 inch less reach, but he's at a southpaw versus orthodox fighting stance. Excuse me, geez Louise. He's a way more active fighter. Sadykov is coming in 4-0-1 in his last 5. The draw, I felt like it could have went his way. I feel like he kind of got screwed in the second round on that one. But let's just move past that. He's still, I think, the more dominant fighter in this one. He's definitely the better pressure striker in this one. That's his motto. I think his way of getting through this one is going to be pressure striking. Don't get me wrong. Speaking of motto,
Mota.
I think Mota. My bad.
Yeah, no, I fucked it up too. You did.
He comes in with a little over 3.5 sig strikes a minute, but his accuracy is 38%. He's not a very accurate striker, and he definitely absorbs a lot of strikes. I think it's like 4.7 strikes a minute, so it's not very good, brother. He has better head movement, though. That's one thing I've noticed watching the tape over the last couple of days. Sadykov's head is kind of way more still compared to Mota's, so I think that gives him a better chance to have a little bit more of a head game, but he'll have to keep it on the feet, though, if he wants to have any kind of a fighting chance. But because his ground game is trash, and Sadykov's ground game is just a little bit better. It's kind of elite with his ground and pound, but for this fight, I don't see it being very close. The odd makers see it being the same. What about you, my brother? What do you see it being weight?
So, yeah, Sadykov, he's a dynamic striker, has nasty kicks. He's knocked people out with just about every kick that there is in the books. So he's obviously going to be the favorite here against Nicholas Mota, who does get hit a lot, who, while Sadykov doesn't move his head very much, Nicholas Mota moves his head, but when he's walking in, he's still getting caught moving his head. He's not very good at it, I guess is what I'm saying. Now, he's strung together a couple wins here recently. He had that, I'm looking at Sadykov's pick. Mota. Strung together a couple wins here recently, but Mahashete, nothing to write home about. Tom Nolan, up and down fighter, first round knockout. And listen, Nicholas Mota, he's got like Mike Tyson-like build and movement and stature, the way he moves in the pocket, his boxing. He's got big power, but Sadykov's going to be able to keep him at range. He's got way better range management. He's got a better ground game, like you said. He's got the takedowns. He's got the submissions over him. And Nicholas Mota has been knocked out 4 times. So Nazim Sadykov, he's coming off of a knockout win over one of the Bonfim brothers. And the Bonfims are no joke. Those dudes were undefeated coming into the UFC. Or if they weren't undefeated, one was undefeated and the other one was super highly touted. Watching them on the Contender Series, they looked amazing. Yeah, Ishmael. So he beat the better Bonfim, gave him his first loss in the UFC. In general, Ishmael's never, he didn't beat the better Bonfim. Still beat one of the Bonfims. Beat Ishmael. Crazy knockout, crazy doctor stoppage. So I think I'm right there with you. Sadykov's live. But listening to Ray Longo talk. Ray Longo was talking on the Anakin Florian podcast this week, and he mentioned that, like, Sadykov, he's a lot more technical. Nicholas Mota, he is very basic. He's throwing ones and twos. He's throwing the hook, but he's primarily boxing, throwing low kicks. It's a very predictable style. That doesn't mean it's not hard to deal with. When you do that, when you're fighting like that, fighting just perfect, sometimes people don't train against guys that fight perfect. And Sadykov does like to get drawn into the brawls just to prove that he can do it, just to prove that he's a brawler. He's going to swing with you. He's going to bang with you. So I could definitely see a Nicholas Mota knockout potentially, but I don't trust it enough. I'm not throwing my money on a shot in the dark, and that's what Nicholas Mota is going to have to do, is just overhand, eyes closed, Sadykov gets caught while it's happening. So that's how I see that one going down. But we'll move right along to Tofiq Musaev.
Tofiq Musaev. Yep. Come on, brother.
Before I say this name, because I have it, I would like to hear your pronunciation of the fighter he has taken up.
Miktybek Orobe.
Close. So it's
Orobe.
It's Muktebek
Orobai.
Muktebek
I was
Orobai.
close.
You were close. Yeah, absolutely. So Muktebek Orobai taking on Tofiq Musaev. And listen, Musaev was a beast in Ryzen, beast in every promotion he's been in. I think he's 22-5. I'll have to get back to that page here. But yeah, 22-5. And he was a beast in Ryzen, beast everywhere he's been. But he's been off for 2 years. He hasn't fought since November 2023. And that was a knockout win over Takada. We've seen how inactivity affects fighters. Now, if Muktebek Orobai's chin is still there after that Matus Rubeski fight that was on my short list for fight of the year, top 2, maybe 3. I think I had it as 2. I had Ribovics versus Daniel Zellhuber as 1, and then I had that as 2. I had Holloway Gaethje as 3. So it was a great fight. The dudes beat the shit out of each other. Orobai's face was busted, and that was only 9 months. Okay, he's had time to recover. 9 months ago, his face was busted up. If the chin's still there, Orobai's getting this done. Tofiq Musaev's 35 years old. Yes, he's got great wrestling. He's got knockout power. Orobai's got great grappling. He's going to have the grappling advantage here. And Tofiq Musaev might be faster and have more power, but Orobai's just so technical. He gets a little tight sometimes, but once he starts letting go, he's just catching you. He's a rangefinder. Doesn't have a crazy reach advantage, just a 2-inch reach, but he's going to be just working that the whole fight. I like Orobai. I like the number at -175. I think he's a lock. He could not be. We could see Tofiq Musaev go out there and lay on him, but does he want to do that in front of his home crowd? I wouldn't. So that's where I'm at with this. And yeah, I like Orobai. How do you see this one going down, Cody?
After we had the hype of yet again another Bellator fighter coming into UFC trying to put their stamp on the fights, after Patchy Mix just disappointed us 2 weeks ago, just pissing us off, I'm avoiding any Bellator fighters for the near future. Just like how you do the undefeated fighters, I do not trust them with the slightest, just because this is a different level when you're coming in. And not even that, you're talking about almost a 2.5 year layoff at this point. I'm a year and a half, basically a year and 3/4, almost 2 year layoff. It's just, I just don't have much faith. They have pristine records in those in Ryzen and in Bellator, but the UFC's way different. And Orobai, I think he's way too elite, especially when you're coming in at 35 versus a 27-year-old who's in his physical prime. I see him just overpowering him, overpacing him. The only thing is that he has a problem taking punches, and he has to avoid doing that, because I do know that Musaev does have a strong right, and has a pretty strong kick. So he does need to avoid that and have a pretty good guard. Get technical, like you said. And with this fight, I think it's going to be a good fight for him to work on chin development while he's trying to progress, because I still think that at 27 with a 13-2-1 record, he has a lot to prove in the UFC. So For me, I think he's going to walk away, like you said, 170, 175. That's a lock, dude. I think he walks away with a decision or maybe a TKO. But more than likely, I think this is one of those that go the distance. But for sure, it's going to be a unanimous.
Yeah, I mean both guys are tough as hell. I gotta talk some shit here to you. Can't take a punch. Dude's never been knocked out, never been submitted. I mean, yeah, he got the shit beat out of him by Rebeski, but let me just
Well, I'm
look.
saying like his strikes per minute though that he takes though.
Oh, you're saying he takes too many punches.
Yes, yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
but
I said avoid.
the chin is just so there. The chin is
That's
just
some strong ass wind.
oh yeah, dude, it's going crazy here as well. It just slowed down. We're supposed to get tornadoes tonight, so hopefully that doesn't happen on the stream. But
Yeah, we had
does,
swirls over our house earlier.
we need to get on StreamYard, you and I, by the way. So it'll make it a lot easier for me to do this. I was checking it out. It just cost a bit of money, but we move right along. So we both riding with Oralbai on that one. So that brings us to the next Azerbaijani fighter. What am I doing? What am I doing, Cody? Did I try to skip over Curtis Blades
I was
and
saying,
Rizvan?
did he already skip out on this fight again? Is he already out?
Yeah, is this one getting booked for a fifth time? Curtis Blades versus Rizvan Kunyev. This fight, I mean, how many times have we broken this down now in our notes and then it gets canceled? Either we've broken it down on the channel and then it gets canceled after we've broken it down, or it gets broken down after we've broken it down in our notes and we don't put it on the show because it's a canceled fight. This fight's happening. Curtis Blades versus Rizvan Kunyev. How's this fight going down, Cody? I'll let you carry this or start this one off. I have a pretty strong feeling about this fight.
I wonder if we're gonna feel the same with this one. Curtis Blades versus Rizvan Kunyev. Kunyev's a hell of a fighter. He hasn't really had much of a competition level that people are looking at his record for. It's 12-2-1. People are like, oh shit, he's coming in plus 200. I think I have a really good shot here to make some money. But if you look at who he's fought, it's nowhere near the level of who Curtis Blades has fought. And the elite level of Curtis Blades is just completely different. It's a good test for him because he definitely like I mentioned a few weeks ago on the show where you have to give these guys the chance to be able to have that where yeah, they haven't had the resume or whatever, but they need to be able to earn that resume, somehow, some way. So this could be one of those fights for him. I think the odds makers are giving him a little bit too much credit at plus 200. I think Curtis Blades is a nice person you can just tabble in with a parlay for a money line at minus 250. He's very active and he's very accurate. Don't get me wrong. Kunyev with a 78% strike accuracy at 5.82 strikes per minute, and he averages almost 3 takedowns per 15 minutes. But don't get me wrong; those are against people that don't have the defense
Uh,
level of Curtis Blades and the chin of Curtis Blades.
I was gonna say we got to go back to like what you were just saying on that last fight, where these guys coming into the UFC. If you're gonna fade them, you're gonna fade them. Absolutely. So you look at the guys he's fought. It's not the level that it's
No,
yeah, and I think that the Henan Ferreira fight, I'd have to get on Chrome or something to pull it up, but I believe that he got stopped, but it ended up being a no contest for back of the head shots or something crazy like that. But yeah, I'm right there with you. Curtis Blades, he's got ground and pound. He's an elite wrestler, and on top of all that, he's got phenomenal striking now. His striking has improved leaps and bounds these past couple years. And Rizvan just has not fought that level of competition that Curtis Blades has fought. The guys that are finishing Curtis Blades are elite strikers or elite
Tom
power
Aspinall.
punches. Yeah, Tom Aspinall, who has an average fight time of like a minute 57. Derek Lewis, the most knockouts in UFC history.
Mm-hmm.
Francis Ngannou, the hardest hitter in UFC history. I mean, no matter which way you look at it, it's this dude has not lost to scrubs. Kunyev, Rizvan Kunyev. however we want to say it. This guy, he's got 6 TKOs, but like you said, it's not against that level of competition. He's a minus 275 favorite. Curtis Blades, elite grappler. Now, at heavyweight, if you get taken down, it's hard to get back up because dudes are just big as shit. If Rizvan goes out there, decides he's going to lay and pray and just lay on this guy, that could happen. He's a lot bigger than Blades. I think Blades is going to weigh in around, well, Blades beefed up. He weighs in around 262 now, but I think Rizvan does have to cut to get to that. Uh-oh. Streaming slowed down just a little bit. I think we're back.
You're good. You haven't lagged on my end or anything.
Yeah, I was just checking it on yeah. So, and make sure you got any questions, any thoughts on these fights, drop them in the chat. We're gonna answer them right away. We'll let whoever's finishing their thought, but we're gonna answer them right away. We're gonna get right to it. But yeah, same page, Curtis Blades. I think this dude is going to go out there and take him down, try to prove a point, gets the takedown, and just bring back vintage Curtis Blades, the razor blades elbows. He's going to be throwing nasty ground and pound and get a finish that way. Or I could see him getting a finish with a straight right. Curtis Blades' striking has gotten so good. 3.5 significant strikes landed per minute is a lot better in the UFC than I think 5.8 in the PFL, where you're fighting a lot of trash cans. You're fighting just not the top level competition. Curtis Blades also averages almost 6 takedowns a fight. Now Rizvan gets about 3, but that's not 6. And I think Curtis is just going to have the advantage everywhere. I think he's going to be a better striker. Rizvan might establish a jab early because Curtis isn't a super confident striker. But I think at the end of the day, it's just going to be Curtis Blades walking away with a TKO victory. Maybe a decision. Maybe he lays on Rizvan, can't find the ground and pound and doesn't get that done. But I like it. I like it a lot. So we'll move on to the fight that I meant to go to next because I tried to skip that one. We're talking Rafael Fiziev. He's taking on Ignacio Bahamondes. Cody, I'll let you carry this away because I'm going to have to jump into the next beer. But before I do, make sure if you're in the chat, let us know what you think about Fiziev versus Bahamondes. We'll get to that. And Cody's going to give you his thoughts, or just let us know what you think of the card. Any questions you got, we'll get to it.
Ooh, big lightning strike. Wait, let's see if you hear it. No?
Nothing.
There it is.
I didn't hear it.
Noise canceling headphones, man. That crap's loud. So we have Rafael Fiziev versus Ignacio Bahamondes. Dude, the odds on this one are awesome.
Oh yeah,
I love it. Rafael comes in 5 inches shorter, with a 4-inch shorter reach.
7
we know what the
shorter
71-inch reach versus a 75-inch reach.
No, 7 inches shorter.
Oh,
5'8" to 6'3".
5. Yeah, you're right. My math. Sorry, there's not 10 inches in a foot. Excuse me, people. I'm a little inebriated. Coming in off a 3-fight loss streak for Fiziev, dude, he's not having any momentum coming into this fight at all. Coming in against a physically primed warrior in Bahamondes, dude, who's somebody who I think personally is going to be on the up and coming. For Fiziev, he has to avoid being a punchy bag in this one, really, because he takes so many strikes, dude. He has such a chin, dude. He's a warrior, but the problem is he can't keep taking these strikes, and because it just puts him in danger in these fights. And he has to learn to keep a distance and learn how to keep his pace. But it's going to be such a problem when he has such a reach disadvantage and such a height disadvantage in this fight. Especially for Bahamondes, dude, when he's just an absolute striking machine coming in over 7 strikes a minute, dude. It's insane. With a little under 50%, but that doesn't matter when you're putting out that kind of output and connecting. He doesn't really take it to the ground ever. He's one of them. Just I'm gonna strike you till you freaking get it down. Um, he's got a heavy pace. Just opponent is just awful with defensively here, and it's gonna stay on the feet because Bahamondes is gonna do what he wants in this fight. I can't believe that it's at a minus 130. They're giving Fiziev too much credit, in my opinion. Um, I think Bahamondes is just going to walk away with this with a unanimous decision or a TKO. Personally, if you're asking me.
Hey, I don't hate it. Now, I gotta say, Fiziev, one of the most electric striking games in the UFC. Just diverse as hell. His body work opens up the head. He's got knees to the body. He's got vicious boxing combos, and his Muay Thai is top notch. He trains people in Muay Thai. Are you muted?
No.
Oh, everything went silent. Um, Muay Thai, though, top notch. Dude's a beast. He's on a 3-fight skid. The 3-fight skid is 2 losses to Justin Gaethje and an injury loss to Mateusz Gamrot, which he could have easily won that fight, depending on how it would have gone. He got injured before the halfway point, so who knows how that fight would have gone. But he's taken on a guy in Ignacio Bahamondes, who Bahamondes, like you said, the activity, 7 strikes a minute. He's got a 7-inch height advantage, 4-inch reach advantage. I love the 4-inch reach advantage stat on it. It's 60% win rate. Also, Bahamondes, 27 years old, also coming into his prime. He's coming off of a submission win over Jalen Turner. TKO over Manuel Torres in a great fight. Fight was a banger until it wasn't in that first round. Both dudes were swinging. Bahamondes got a chin. He's got a TKO over, I forget his first name, Jagos, though. I think he's from Greece. Lost to Ludovic Klein. Ludovic Klein wrestle effed him. We're not going to be seeing Rafael Fiziev wrestle F Ignacio Bahamondes. Now, while Bahamondes doesn't get takedowns, if you take him down or if it goes to the ground from a knockdown or anything, he's going to find a submission. He's got long limbs. He's going to be able to get the choke. As Josh Thompson would say, he's tall, long, and lanky. And it works in this fight. Now, Rafael Fiziev, though, does a great job at closing the distance. Like I said, he works the body to open up that head. And he'll blitz in with a high guard, start ripping some body shots, throw a knee to the body. And I could see him getting a finish that way. That could absolutely happen because Fiziev is a dynamic striker. A lot of power on the guy. But I wonder about those knee surgeries he's had, the injuries he's been going through, the 2 losses to Justin Gaethje. I wonder where he's at this point. And Ignacio Bahamondes is training with Gerald Meerschaert, Bilal Muhammad, Juliana Pena, Yair Rodriguez. He's training with just all these studs. And I think Yair Rodriguez is probably the biggest help to him of all. I mean, they have a very similar style with their tall, long, lanky, as Josh Thompson would say, build. They both throw these crazy kicks. They're kick dominant if they need to be, but Bahamondes has a much better boxing game than Yair Rodriguez. I think he's a guy that's coming into his own. He's looking for a ranking in the UFC. He was ranked. They dropped him out for whatever reason, just because the way it works. AI, I guess. But I really think that Ignacio Bahamondes is just going to walk away with this pretty easy. I think for a guy like Rafael Fiziev, ball of muscle. I mean, you look at him at 155. He's 5'8", not short for 155. Bahamondes is just huge for 155. But 5'8", he's also not tall for 155. Ball of muscle. If this dude dropped a little bit of muscle, dropped down to 145, I think he would be an absolute player there. He would be just rolling in it, getting the love that Jean Silva gets with his fight style. Both these guys have spinning back kick knockouts. I mean, both the dudes are absolute studs. But yeah, I think that Bahamondes is going to be the better man on that night. Now, Fiziev could go out there and prove us wrong because he, like I said, such a dynamic striking game. What would we not expect from him? Because he could go out there and just make it a dirty boxing affair, put it in the clinch and be like, listen, I'm the best Muay Thai fighter in MMA. Flat out.
Right. He absolutely could.
But I just think Bahamondes' range control, his ability to keep it at his distance, I think that's going to be what is the difference here. We'll have to see, but I just think he's coming into his prime, and I think that Rafael Fiziev's prime may have surpassed him with those injuries, with those 2 Justin Gaethje fights. he was a guy that I was super high on, but I always thought he would be better at 145. And, he's just a guy, so much muscle. Doesn't gas out in fights, but definitely doesn't look as well in the third round as he does in the first. So, yeah, I'm going with Bahamondes, and he's going to be a big part of a couple of my bets this week. Yeah, I had a whole page of notes for that one. So we'll move on to the main event. And again, I'll let you kick this one off. I'll jump in. But Jamaal Hill, when I was watching this or checking it, plus 105, minus 125 for Khalil Rountree, depending on where you get the odds. How do you see this fight going down, Cody? What's going to happen in this one? The main event, the biggest moment of the night? How are we going to see it go out?
Both are coming off losing streaks. One's coming off a two-fight losing streak. I mean, you can't really hold it against them. I mean, you can, but they're coming off two elite fighters in Yuri and Pereira, and then Roundtree lost to Pereira as well his last fight. They both came off elite losses, so it's not like you can really hold it too much against them, or it's like, you kind of shit the bed against somebody really just you shouldn't have lost to. But Jamaal Hill, dude, is a freaking striking machine. This is both going to be a striking battle. Nobody takes it to the ground in this fight. This is going to be either a 5-round bloodbath, basically the BMF fight before the BMF fight. Because this is going to be awesome. This is going to be a lot of fun. Jamaal comes in just like almost exact stats as Bahamondes, a little over 7 strikes a minute. 55% accuracy, very accurate. Roundtree's a little under at 3.73, but he's very technical with his striking. But this one here, I have it just in one basic line here. This is going to come down to who establishes space in their own pace in the striking brawl, because that's really what it's going to come down to. They both have similar reaches, just a 2.5 inch difference, but it makes up with it in the height, so it really doesn't matter. So I think this one here is just going to be a matter of which veteran establishes their own pace, establishes their own points, connects their strikes, and makes combos out of it, and establishes the momentum and runs with it. Because this is going to go either way. The odds are even for Jamaal versus a minus 120 for Roundtree. So this is literally a coin flip in the odds makers. It's just going to be
coming in on Jamaal then.
Was he an underdog?
Well, yesterday Khalil was a minus 145 and Jamaal was plus 120.
Oh, okay.
And then when I did my bets, everything, it was slightly closer, but not enough to talk about. Plus 105 for Jamaal, minus 125 for Khalil. So now you're saying plus 100 versus minus 110 or 120. What was it?
It's even, so I think it's minus 100 or plus 100, whatever that would be.
Yeah, just flat bets.
Yep, and then for a minus 120 for Roundtree. I think this one is literally going to be a toss-up. It's going to be whoever can connect the most and get the momentum off, and whoever can rock whoever first, to be honest with you, because this one's going to be two vets just going at it, two title contenders, one former champion. This one's going to hold a lot to it, honestly, personally, if you ask me.
Yeah, this fight is everything I want in a main event of a fight night. Just two guys that are going to go out and swing leather. These dudes, they both are knockout artists. They're both finishers. Jamaal Hill, former UFC light heavyweight champion. Now he's coming off those 2 losses to Yuri Prochazka and Alex Pereira. Knockout from Pereira, TKO to Prochazka. Not a great look. And he had the Achilles heel injury. Like you said, though, puts a crazy pressure on you, or pace on you. He has great boxing, good footwork, but we haven't seen that lately in the Pereira fight or the Yuri fight. He came out in the Yuri fight with 2 knee braces on. He was crossing his feet in that fight. I didn't like that for the foot movement. And if a guy like Khalil catches you when you're crossing your feet, it's going to knock you off balance or knock you out. But if it knocks you off balance, then he's going to jump on you and just start landing vicious shots without, not ground and pound even. You're just on the ground and he's standing up just raining on you from the stand up. So for that, it's not a great look for Jamaal, and he has not won a fight since, let me double check this, but January of 2023, so 2.5 years since he's won a fight. It was against Glover Teixeira, who was old at that point, a little washed, had already lost his belt to he did not. He ended up losing the belt to Jamaal, or it was for the vacant title because Yuri had to vacate due to injury. But regardless, has not won in quite a long time. And is that a mental block? The guy's been on social media out there just making a fool of himself. And I think Khalil, he's a guy that throws with conviction. He's going to go out there, and Jamal's going to try to box him up. He's going to try to just jab and straight left because he's fighting from the southpaw. They both are. And he could do that. But Khalil throws with conviction. He throws no feints when he fights. He's just going out there, and every punch he throws is right down the pipe. It's right where it's supposed to be, lands right on the money. If it doesn't, then it's because he's opening up to try to get you to come in so that he can do it more. But how damaged is Khalil after that Alex Pereira fight, you know? Where's he at? Alex Pereira wrecked his nose. He boxed him up. Now, Khalil looked great at the beginning of that fight, and you could see in that fight his technical ability. He didn't want to throw kicks. He didn't want to get into the kicking game with Pereira because Pereira is a world-class kickboxer. But Khalil Rountree has just absolutely brutal kicks. And people say he's a soy boy, he's a mental midget because he talks about mental health. He's been through it. The guy used to be like 350 pounds or 300 pounds, smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day. Started training at, I think, 21 years old. Saved his life. Great story, you know. Think what you want about his beliefs outside of the cage or what he talks about, but saying he's a mental midget, watching what he does when he goes out there and fights, you can't say that. He was an absolute warrior against Pereira. Dude just put on he took an absolute beating. He put on a beating to Pereira. Pereira hadn't been beat like that, like beat up like that, the way that Khalil Rountree did in the opening rounds. So you look at that and you're like, this dude, yeah, he's undersized. He's 6'1" to Jamaal Hill's 6'4", 79-inch reach to 76.5, so a 2.5-inch reach advantage there. With a 3-inch height advantage, it really equates to about a 3.5, 4-inch reach advantage. But I just think Khalil's so technical. He keeps a very high guard. And one thing a lot of UFC fighters don't do that boxers do is they block with their UFC fighters don't block with their shoulders. When they're getting struck, when people are striking at them, they're going back with their head back, and they're putting their hands up to block the punch. When you put your head back, it just leaves it open to get clocked. And the further the strike is away that hits you, the harder it's going to hit you. So, I think that Khalil's going to find this one because when he goes out there, his defense, even against Pereira, when he's getting clocked, he's not backing up with his head back. He's going in, keeps his head down between his hands, shoulders up, so when you're throwing the looping shots, even if it catches him, it's glancing off, so it slides off his head. It's great tactic. UFC, MMA fighters in general don't use it enough. And it makes sense because you got to be able to stop the takedowns, but in this fight, you're not going to have to. And I just think that Khalil with John Wood, he's going to be so well prepared. Jamaal Hill, I don't think has the same level of camp that Khalil has with John Wood. You know, John Wood is Merab Dvalishvili's trainer, trains a lot of top-level guys, probably going to win Coach of the Year this year. So I think Khalil's going to get a knockout here. I think Khalil's going to catch Jamaal in a later round when Jamal's footwork gets a little messed up. Jamal's been coming in a little off weight. Another thing I don't like about it is Jamaal, before the fight, talking about being uncomfortable flying into Azerbaijan because it borders Iran, and they were going to initially have to go over Iran airspace, but they had to make a 2.5-hour detour to get there. It makes him uncomfortable. He didn't feel comfortable flying in general with the war, everything going on. Completely understandable. Ray Longo said the same thing. He's coaching Nazim Sadykov in this fight. He said, yeah, I'm shitting my pants. It's a scary situation. We don't need to get into the political side. Not that there is a political side. It's just war.
That's real. That's realization. Yeah, you do not want to get killed when you're just trying to fly and them just shoot down a commercial airplane thinking you are something else, you know?
Yeah, and yeah, you don't want to get killed trying to provide for your family, warriors or fighters, like anybody in general. Nobody wants to die. So, absolutely. Now, this fight, though, I just think Khalil, he's so mentally strong. As much as people want to call him a mental midget because he'll cry after the fight in his post fight speech about mental health, he'll cry on podcasts. He'll let his emotions show. If anything, the guy has gone out there and shown us he's a fighter, he's a warrior, and he doesn't get like that in fights. And it takes a big man, I think, to just be able to be like, yeah, I've been here and I've done this and I want to advocate for other people that have been here. And for people to hate on him because the MMA community is so toxic and so just red pilled. And I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm very much not interested
No,
in
that's just the truth,
politics.
though.
But not all MMA fans, because I don't think the
No, that's
diehards
just
are.
that's just what the basis of the MMA is.
You get the Andrew Tate fans, you get the Nelk Boy fans, which is fine. I don't hate the Nelk Boys. I don't hate people that think differently than me, and I don't hate to say I think one thing that this person thinks but disagree with everything else, or I disagree with other things they say. But that's the problem with today, and that's why there's so much conflict in the world, is everybody just wants to take a side. Nobody wants to have their own thought process.
No, absolutely.
We don't need to.
No, but I think I'm on the same page with you on this one, though. I think Khalil Rountree is going to walk away with this one. I think with the downfall and the track record that Jamaal Hill's really had, like you said, he has his last few wins prior to his two losses weren't two greater opponents that they should have been for, title contentions and things like that. So what we're going to be looking for, like you said, is Khalil's just power and his precision striking coming right down the middle. I think he's going to connect on one, like you said. I think it's going to be a fourth round TKO. Honestly, if you want to find that in the bets and put that in somewhere, if somebody can find that, I think personally for me that's going to be one that's going to be you want to look out for.
I just was checking something and it made you full screen. I'm trying to figure out how to show my video.
Oopsies.
Yep. Whoopsies. Hang on. Undo.
Hi everyone.
Yeah, just yeah, but I'm with you there. More. Chill. Hold up.
I know what I'm doing at that point.
View. Alright. Yeah, you stop that. Hold on a sec. What did I do?
Am I still just full screen?
Yeah, I'm trying to. The Cody Show. Yes, baby.
Ooh.
Alright.
What's my most recent return here? Is it right here? Yep.
Can't see it. There you go. Alright.
Shohei Ohtani, rookie. PSA 10.
Oops. I'm trying to.
Oh.
Okay, I got my.
Heck yeah, people.
Okay, well, I'm back. I'm going to put you back on full screen for a sec while I figure this out. I'll be right back. Oh, there we go. Well, I'll be right back. I got to take a piss. Cody, start with your bets, though.
Alrighty, people. I have these bets here called Redemption Week. If you've been following, this one is going to be a big one for me because I'm due. I've had a few down weeks. I was up at 1.57 units. In our thing, it'd be 5,700. So I need to get it back in order here. I'm at like plus 38 units now. I need to get back on track here. I've fallen down the wrong path here the last few weeks with my bets, getting a little risky. But we're going to go Ignacio by points or TKO or KO. It's going to be a double chance on FanDuel. It's going to give us minus 105 odds. I'm going to throw 300 on that. It's going to bring back a total of 585.
Hold up.
71.
Hold up. TKO or KO is only minus 105.
No, it's a double chance.
Yeah. Okay.
No, with points. Hold on, let me. Sorry, a train was rolling by.
You're good.
No, so it's a double chance on FanDuel. So it's either he wins by points or there's a TKO or a KO. So there's just the two things that can happen. And he gives it to you at minus 105. And yeah, I throw 300 on that for a 585 total return.
Okay. So, what was the odds? I'm sorry.
Minus 105.
300 gives you 585.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And then the next one's going to be Bogdangrad.
Okay.
Money line.
Okay.
Plus 210. 250 brings back a total of 775.
Okay.
And then I got a parlay here. Just something simple. Curtis Blades and Robbie money line. Plus 111. I'm going to throw 450 on it to bring back 952.
Okay. So you got So you have Ignacio by points or TKO, 350 or 300 gets you 585 back. Bogdan plus 210, 250 gets you gets you 775 back, and then Blades and Orobai plus 111, 450 gets you 952 back. I don't hate it at all. Now,
just feeling safe.
Don't hate it. Now, I'm feeling a little less safe than you are.
Okay.
First pick, I got a dog. I got Ismail Nardiev. I got plus 164 odds on the guy. 250 brings us back 660. I got Khalil Rountree, minus 122. 250 brings us back 450, 491. I got Ignacio Bahamondes. 250 at minus 130 brings us back 442.30. You're probably wondering, what are you doing with that other 250? I'm just throwing it on a little parlay here. Khalil Rountree, Curtis Blades, Muhammad Naimov, Oban Elliott, Tagir Ulanbekov, Hamdi Abdallah Wahab, and Muktabek Orobai. The total of them gives us plus 1187 odds. 250 brings us back $3,202.60.
Ooh. You're trying to take the gap, not close the gap.
I didn't even think about it when I was making it. I just kept seeing names I liked, and
I like it though. You're trying to make some money though.
Yeah.
That's a big money parlay there. If you just want even just $250, $25 is so over $300 there. I like that a lot.
It's a nice little parlay right there. So those are our bets that we got for you though. Now, before we let you go, if you got anything in the chat, make sure you drop it. We'll answer anything, as always we do. But we got other news. We got Dana White, John Jones, Tom Aspinall news. Dana White says, if there's no news, and this is from the Jim Rome show, but if there's no news on the John Jones fight in the next couple of weeks, they're moving on. And with that, we saw a video of Alex Pereira weighing in 243 pounds. He can get bigger. He can add muscle. Is he going to be Tom Aspinall's next fight? Would that be just the biggest slap in the face to the UFC? Or to John Jones, I should say, who wanted Pereira and then Pereira lost. Pereira says, "Screw it, I'm done with light heavyweight. Just like with middleweight, once I lost my belt, I move up." Regardless of how that fight plays out, would that be the biggest FU to John Jones? And is that the biggest fight to make for Tom Aspinall that isn't John Jones right now, Cody? I know this is a bit of a off the rip question because we didn't talk about it beforehand. This is stuff that came to light after the show was already written and everything, after the questions were given. But is that the biggest fight for Tom, even though it might not be the biggest challenge?
I mean, at this point, yeah, because one, to give somebody the first ever triple champ opportunity, that would be insanity. Now, I think if that were to ever happen, which would be, you would have to book that fight. That would be the most sold pay-per-view over the last couple of years. I mean, holy crap. And yes, to answer your question, the person that John Jones is one of the most, yes, that would be a massive fuck you because John Jones has had the opportunity to come fight Tom Aspinall. And then if he were to fight Tom Aspinall and Pereira wants to move up to heavyweight, he would absolutely have that opportunity. He would more than rather have that opportunity. But I think he would rather just ride into the sunset and just play these little trolley games on Twitter at this point, which is kind of getting annoying. I mean, dude, just either just leave it the fuck alone or get back in the cage and do this. I mean, because it's fun at some point at a certain extent to the fans, but at this point, the teasing game is just going to run you dry. And people are just going to think you're just an annoying troll at this point. And I would rather you just figure it out. Damn, you're puffing in what? 2 there, right there.
Yeah, I got 2 of these 9s in.
Damn.
Well, I just really like it, and I've fallen off of the snuff train a little bit. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're talking fights. We're not talking about my nicotine addiction. As bad
as I sat here, I've been sitting here vaping the entire time.
You need to get off that popcorn lung or something, COVID. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, I think Poetan versus Tom Aspinall, while all the casuals will say, "What are you doing?" Nobody really wants to see this fight. Not the casuals, the diehards, but the casuals will tune in. Pereira sells fights. Tom Aspinall has been in the news. People have heard his name just from John Jones should fight him. So that's a huge fight and a big FU to John Jones. I mean, imagine if they do that fight. And if John wants to come back, it's just, for John, after Pereira lost that fight, and Tom has been the interim champ for almost 2 years now. Almost 2 years as the interim champ. That's crazy. They've just been in like different brackets. John's like, "I'm not fighting you. I'm injured. I'm fighting Stipe." Pointless fight, but I love Stipe. Cleveland proud. But yeah, what an FU to John Jones after all these games on social media, after all this, after everything he said. After the Stipe fight, we're going to give the fans what they want. Did he think the fans wanted Pereira and then Pereira lost, so he's like, "I'm retired and I'm just going to fuck with everybody"? Because that kind of seems like where he's at. And if Pereira ends up getting the next heavyweight title shot for an undisputed championship against Tom Aspinall, John Jones is just going to be looking at it like, what the fuck? But also, and I don't like to stand up for him, but John Jones, what else do you have to prove? I mean, the greatest of all time. You look at what he's done in the octagon. He's the greatest of all time. The loss to Matt Hamill, whatever. He beat the shit out of him before the illegal elbows. He undefeated in my book. Undisputed. Greatest of all time. Sail off into the sunset. UFC, I think John Jones has laid his plans out flat. He said, "I'm retired. I'm done fighting." There's been videos where he didn't even know they were recording where he said, "Yeah, I know, I'm done fighting. Like, I'm retired." The guy is retired. The UFC...
Look at his body now. He's getting so chubby now, too. He's not even, like, in... I mean, he's just... Where, even if you're not fighting, you still take natural care of your body. He's not even, like, naturally training every day anymore, every other day. You can just see it.
Yeah, I mean, he said he hasn't trained since the Stipe fight. So, I just let him sail off. It's kind of like the Khabib thing with the UFC where Khabib laid out his plans. He said, "I'm done. I'm not fighting anymore." And the UFC kept pushing it and kept pushing it. And eventually you got to give it up. You got to say, this is it. Tom Aspinall is fighting Cyril Gane, or Tom Aspinall is fighting Yalton Almeida. for the undisputed title. Or Tom Aspinall is fighting Alex Pereira. But you're not gonna get me with this fucking Tom Aspinall is waiting for John Jones. It's almost been
It's been a little over 2 years.
yeah, a little under 2 years as interim champ. Almost a year since he knocked out Curtis Blades to keep his interim championship. It's just, what are we doing at this point, you know? What are we doing? And then PFL, they got an event this Friday. Right before the show, they announced that they were moving the start time up. Great move because last week's main card didn't start until 11 p.m. Rough start time. I didn't.
Yeah, it was terrible. I fell asleep before Usman.
No, Usman wasn't on that. It was Thad Jean and Jason Jackson. But
Last week's?
For PFL, yeah.
Oh, PFL.
You're thinking UFC. Yeah, no, PFL. They got their semifinals at 155 and I want to say the women's division 125 for Liz Carmouche. But yeah, you got Gadzi Rabadanov. He's defending champ of the PFL season. He's taking on Kevin Lee short notice because his original opponent that won his debut or his first bout in the tournament fell out. So Kevin Lee's stepping into the semifinal short notice. Former UFC fighter, former UFC interim title challenger. Dude's a stud, but he hasn't looked great lately. He does have a couple wins on the regional scene. He said he wanted to get back to the UFC, whether it's through the PFL, whether it's through the Dana White Contender Series. He wants to get back, but Gadzi Rabananov, dude is a nightmare matchup for anybody. I mean, goodness, let me take those out. This guy, he's got insane power, throws just nonstop volume. He's walking you down the whole fight. And on top of that, if his striking doesn't work, he trains out of Eagle FC with Khabib. He's part of the Khabib team with Usman Nurmagomedov and Islam Makhachev, two of the top lightweights in the world. And he's going to be too much for Kevin Lee. Kevin Lee's not going to have anything for him. He's going to kick his legs off. He's going to punch his head off and probably TKO him first round or KO. Gadzi Rabananov, just stacked full of power. It's insane. The card's fun, but I mean, it sucks to see Kevin Lee just get bad matchup after bad matchup. So I just wanted to talk about that. But yeah, that would be nuts. And also, you look at what Khabib's gym has done at 155.
It's insane.
It's insane. You have Khabib, undefeated, lightweight GOAT in a lot of people's opinion. You got Islam Makhachev, one loss, a lot of other people's lightweight GOAT. And then you have Usman Nurmagomedov, Bellator champ, still defending that title even though Bellator is defunct, still defending it in PFL. And then you have Gadzi Rabananov, who's in a different bracket of the PFL, who is able to win the tournament, and he's going on to win his second tournament, where they will never fight each other, Usman and Gadzi, and Islam and Usman. Islam and Usman, Islam and Gadzi. Nobody from that camp will ever fight each other. They're just racking up titles, holding spots for the next one coming up. It's so impressive what they've done at 155 especially. 135 with Umar getting the title shot, being the next guy up in a lot of people's opinions. That's impressive, but 155 they've really shown out, and it's just so impressive what they've been able to do. So, that moves us on. Oh, well, that card, it's also featuring Jake Hadley. He's in the he's coming off of a Scottish Twister victory in the opening round of the PFL Grand Prix. But moving on. One last bit of UFC news before we let you go. Aaron Pico, his first UFC fight has been announced. It's going to be Movsar Evloev, July 29th, I believe. It's going to be the co-main event for Reiner de Ritter versus Robert Whittaker on an absolutely stacked card. You've got Shara Bullets fighting on the card. Let me get the card pulled up because it's insane. But Aaron Pico versus Evloev. Evloev is a tough challenge for anybody. I mean, he's undefeated, got insane grappling. His striking's come a long way. And it's not a good matchup for Aaron Pico. And Evloev really, in all reality, should be fighting for the title when you look at it. I mean, undefeated. He beat Aljo last time out. He's beat Arnold Allen, who was right there, close to a title shot. Anybody you put him up against, he's beating. He's out grappling. He's out striking. He's doing the damn thing. UFC said it's likely he gets the title shot if he wins, but not guaranteed. What does this guy have to do to get a title shot? Is it just get a finish? He needs to finish Aaron Pico. And on the flip side to that, if Aaron Pico loses, can you imagine the talk about Bellator? I mean,
Oh, it's already getting enough heat as it is.
we talked about it before this card, or before we got into all of it with the Bellator heat that they're getting. You know, you have guys like MVP that are looking great. You have guys like Yaroslav Amosov who are fighting on the regional scene since being released from PFL. UFC hasn't signed yet. That could be an instant top 10 in the 170 or the 185 pound division. It's just the guys that have all the hype around him. You know, MVP didn't have the hype as a title challenger. He was just a super fun fight. Aaron Pico has all that hype. If he loses this fight, which I imagine he'll be a 2-1 dog, maybe 3-1 dog, I just imagine how bad that's going to look for Bellator fighters who kind of
They're going to stop getting their chances.
Well, they got screwed. They've been shelved for so long. I think Patchy Mix, I think Patricio Pitbull, all these guys. Patchy Mix was plagued by inactivity. That's going to mess up your rhythm, your head movement, everything. Just being used to fighting somebody that you're not used to. He hasn't been doing that. And that, I think, played a large part of that Mario Batista fight. Patricio Pitbull, on the shelf for years, missed out on his prime for the UFC. He was at the end of his prime towards the end of the Bellator days anyways, but sitting on the shelf for PFL for so long, it kills you. And then you got Michael Chandler, who came in, looked great against Dan Hooker, put up a great showing against Charles Oliveira in their first bout. But then since that, he has not looked good. He has the crazy knockout win over Tony Ferguson, but other than Dan Hooker and Tony Ferguson, he has no relevant wins. And Tony Ferguson, that was in the midst of an 8 or 9 fight losing streak. So what is Bellator? Is it anything? I don't know. And
I don't think so. I think it's overhyped.
yeah, I think so too. And I think that's all we got for you today. A bit of a longer show. I don't work tomorrow, so I was a little bit free bird, just whatever. And Cody, thank you for joining us. As always, let them know how to find you on the socials. You got it there, but let them know if they're on their phone, they can't see that.
All right, you can find me at _Cody McCoy at that on X or Instagram or anything like that, _Cody McCoy. That's where you can find me everywhere.
Yeah, and thank you as always for joining. And,
Absolutely, brother.
Thank you everybody for tuning in. Make sure, if you haven't yet, you smash that like button, you hit subscribe. We have reached 200 subscribers on the channel. Huge jump from the past couple weeks. Huge jump from where we started 3 years ago. I started this in January 2022, and just great to see it still going. I love talking MMA. I love talking MMA with you, Cody. Love the sport. I love all of you for tuning in, just keeping up with me, supporting me through this whole thing. So, thank you. That's all we got for you. And toodaloo, toodles. Have a great night. Great Wednesday. Enjoy the fights. Noon, Saturday, Eastern Time.